to share games, but I would have given you mine.
I
still like it.
I just traded Ghost of Tsushima that I had on disc version for it because I have that free on PlayStation.
You traded
You
Ghost
got
of
Ghost of
Tsushima?
Tsushima for free? How?
It was a game of the month when I got on PlayStation Now. And
I
so
spent
just downloaded
$70 on that game because
it's
I got
the
the definitive version.
that one was free.
I'm mad.
Wow.
I spent $70 on that.
Did you set a timer for the camera?
I did set a timer.
Are we already recording?
Welcome back to the Roots. We are in a different studio today. Welcome to Mac's house.
Hey!
Joining me again on my right, your left, is Mac Mullins, multi-time guest. And on my left, your right, is Graham Ward, again, multi-time guest. This is your second time in a row. This might be No, you're the only guest to be on consecutively. So
wow.
Graham
Congratulations.
is the baddest of them all. Can we say that?
Speaking of that reference, Creator Clash 2, Froggy Fresh is fighting.
That's what I already bought the tickets for it. That's why.
Yeah, I know. And I'm coming.
Everybody, if you join the Patreon, you can actually come to my house for Creator Clash 2. We're gonna have wings. It's gonna be a great time. And there will
day
be
is that?
non-alcoholic beverages. What's up?
April what?
It's like literally before we go to Missouri. So it's like the day before we go to Missouri.
This is my motivation to get this podcast episode edited and up before Creator Clash 2.
Creator Clash 2. Join the Patreon. For $1,500 a month, you too can come and get some free wings from Mac Mullins at his house with Carter Warren. And possibly Graham Ward if he is available.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you guys don't know what Creator Clash is, like probably half of you know who you are. YouTubers get together in box.
Homeschoolers. That's what he means. I'm sorry.
Sure.
No offense to anybody who's homeschooled. I was totally...
You weren't homeschooled. Shut up. You're the furthest thing from homeschooled. I was though, and Graham was though. So it's all good.
It equals out. One public schooler for every 2 homeschoolers is what you need, because you guys keep me grounded.
And you keep us
Relevant.
there we go.
I was gonna say debaucherous, but okay.
Debaucherous? That's like my new favorite word.
Verbiage.
What does that mean? Do you know?
Like demonic? I don't know.
That's pretty spot
Debauchery
on.
means like bad. I know that much. But yeah, guys, I used to do Twitch streaming, and I kept my setup, and so now Carter gets to have this studio whenever he wants.
Yep. I live here now in the closet. Actually, it's
There
an
is
ice
a pull-out
box.
couch.
There's a pull-out couch in the closet.
No, in the other room. In the
That's way less exciting.
projector room.
He has a projector room that he has like an anime thing looped on, and it's
I
like
do.
lo-fi music playing. It's pretty blissful.
I was playing Portal on my Nintendo Switch before you guys got here, and it was a good time. New Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out, and it's actually pretty good.
It looks really cool.
new
Is it
movie-
out?
A new
I thought it
movie?
was out.
A new
No, it's
Michael
like a
Bay
show.
movie?
It's
I saw
like
the
an
trailer.
animation.
Is it a? Oh,
It's
so
an
it's
animation
It
show.
looks like it's almost like stop motion.
It reminds me of like do you ever see Clone Wars? Like Star Wars
yeah.
and Clone Wars,
Yeah, I've
like
seen
that
some.
animation style. It's
Yep.
like that because they're kind of like blockier looking.
Yeah.
Is that or am I referencing something older?
No, I think you're
Okay.
correct. It's similar.
I've heard good things, and I saw a clip on Instagram Reels last night. And I thought that looked cool. I'm also off TikTok.
I was about to say Instagram
I am
Reels.
7 months clean. Yeah, no TikTok for 7 months, China. You can take that, and you are not tracking me anymore except through Instagram.
I was talking at a party the other night to. I had this moment at this party where I'm standing there talking to people. I'm just like, I'm an adult. I'm at like a party. It was a game night, but it was like I'm at a party talking to other adults I don't know about weird things. And we were talking. He's a software designer, and he was talking about TikTok and China and all that sort of thing.
Does he actually believe like that you're not being fully tracked by other apps?
Well, no. I'm like, so wait a minute. So TikTok does this, and Instagram and stuff doesn't. And he's like, no, those basically like TikTok has some exclusive thing where it's worse, but the other ones aren't good either.
But TikTok has funny comments and funny memes.
Back to the Roots is not on TikTok yet, though.
We're coming down Patreon, though, and if you join our Patreon, you will be on TikTok, and we'll actually send you 3 unique TikToks within the month of May. So make sure you guys are joining, and it will be May 1997. So if you were born after that, you are not gonna get them. But
I was born after May 1997.
oof, my brother in Christ, you are not getting no TikToks for your account. But it's okay, so it's all good.
Can we have root beer?
Yeah, we can. Mac picked this up.
I got the beautiful St. Ives root beer from what's it called? Patelli's in New Buffalo, Michigan. You were talking about going to a party or game night with a bunch of grown men, and I did the same thing this past weekend. And I am not going to go in depth on it, but it was an interesting time, and that is what I will say. But this pizza place, Patelli's, is really good.
Whoa.
Interesting.
And they had
What is happening in my mouth?
This is St. Ives root beer. It is farm
Carbonated
to
water
table.
is the number one ingredient. That's why.
What is?
Carbonated water and carrots.
Molasses, ginger root, beets, fenugreek seed, birch bark, chamomile, yucca, tartaric acid.
It tastes very healthy.
I can taste the
It tastes earthy.
Well, I can the one of the
That
dominant.
does taste very like medicine-y, or like it makes me feel like I'm drinking like a witch's potion.
It's of the ground.
Yeah. The little
Molasses is definitely tasteable.
gnomes might not be real, but the ingredients in St. Steve's root beer are. It's made from the goodness of the garden. This is what you drink when you're watching Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Honestly, I could be drinking this during like their drinking scenes in the pub and feel like I'm sitting right along with Merry and Pippin, Frodo and Sam, sipping out of my pint.
It does have a little bit of an actual like beer taste to it, but it
I
is
had a moment. I'm like,
non-alcoholic.
does this have alcohol
Yeah.
in it?
No, this is non-alcoholic. I did not have to show my ID, or maybe Pat Ellie's is just really cool. So, if
Or you
need to
look
get
old as frick.
I am bald now, so there's that part. Male pattern baldness.
You're past the bald stage. You're at like Eminem level hair.
Slim Shady. All right, join us on Patreon, and Mac will rap the entire lyrics of Rap
We're gonna
God.
move right
next.
we gotta move past the Patreon. But if you are listening, make sure to hit follow on whatever podcast platform you're listening to, or subscribe if you're on YouTube. Watch us on Instagram and all that sort of thing.
Really helps out the channel, guys. And remember, if you donate to Patreon, you will get a free thank you card from Carter signed by Graham Ward. And also, if you join the tier 3 subs, that is $19.99 a month, you will get a handwritten, hand-painted calligraphic card from a cat.
We're just gonna move past this because I've had to cut myself out of the podcast doing that exact same thing before.
Oh,
Lord have mercy. Shout out to Elvis. He was the first one to do it.
You just got to take a bunch of drugs.
Don't judge me. Now bring in the trumpets. Okay, let's transition into our first segment. This is the weird news segment. Graham, are you more prepared than you were last time?
Slightly.
That's okay. I'm slightly more prepared. Who wants to start? Rock, paper,
I'll
scissors.
start. Ooh. Aw.
What?
So, okay.
Excuse me.
Well, okay. Stay tuned for something interesting.
That's called a teaser in the business. So just stay tuned to the end. Watch to the end, guys.
It might have to do with marijuana and urine.
And that's basically the entire state of Michigan. Okay, so Graham, go ahead.
Oh, me?
Yeah, I thought you said you were
I
starting.
have
Graham, go first.
two varieties.
2 varieties.
I don't know if they're any good. One is local.
You have a local. Okay, that piques my interest.
There's
7
a bank, the PNC Bank on McKinley, which I don't know where that is.
McKinley. Okay.
But these two men tried to rob it the other day.
We're going to show that up on the screen right now. If you guys see these 2 men try to rob a bank.
And they
like how
just
you
like
showed
hopped
the
in the
camera.
window, and then they got caught. That's one.
Well, that was
Lame.
Like here?
That's just news.
That's just South Bend in general.
that's pretty
right.
tame for South Bend, to be
Do you know who
honest.
Steven Seagal is?
I know of him.
He's a movie
Can't
actor
name
who's
his
like
face.
really bad, and he does like martial arts stuff, but also really bad. You might recognize his face.
Yeah, I recognize him.
So apparently, he's also has Russian ties, and Putin just gave him the Friendship Award. That's my weird news.
Steven Seagal, you get my friendship ribbon. It's blue. You can press the buttons on the nukes when I launch them at your homeland. I don't know what kind of accent that is, but
Is that getting picked up?
I don't know, maybe a little bit. That was his daughter.
My daughter's outside trying to get in, guys.
It's his bulldog.
Please don't. This is going to get reported.
Demonetized. Dang it, I'm going to lose the thousands of dollars I make on this podcast.
Actually, he makes millions. Don't let him sound crude. All right. UPI, 2 pigs, 1 goat on the loose in Illinois County. Sheriffs are looking for helping authorities in an Illinois County hunt for an unusual trio of fugitives. 2 potbelly pigs named Bonnie and Clyde. Gesundheit.
Bless.
2 potbelly pigs and a goat have escaped. They're nicknamed Bonnie and Clyde, and they're trying to get captured by the Chicagoland Pig Rescue. Apparently, they've been wandering around for a couple of months, and they were last seen on March 10th, 2023. So if you have any news about this, please reach out to... No, they were last seen, but they've been escaped since the 2023.
Okay, so they were spotted.
Yeah.
So wait,
they are definitely not wild pigs and were most likely dumped by former owners, which again, we have seen an increase of, unfortunately. Phoebe Connor, co-director of the Chicagoland Pig Rescue. So if you know anything about these poor little babies and their goat friend, help them out, guys.
So wait a minute, hold on.
And if you join the Patreon, we will capture the pigs and cook them on our next episode.
It's multiple pigs and a goat.
2 pigs, 1 goat.
2 pigs.
That's what she said.
In case you miss it, Mac just said that's what she said. 2 pigs, 1 goat. Welcome to the studio, Winston Mullins.
Can you see him at all?
He's probably in the shot a little bit.
I don't know if I feel
Winnie.
comfortable picking him up.
I'll pick him up. Come here. Come here, brother. Hey!
2 pigs, 1 goat.
2 pigs, 1 goat.
Trying to get the mic on him. This is pure chaos for the audio only listeners.
Oh my gosh.
If you missed that, make sure to head on over to our YouTube channel
And
at
join
Back
our
to the Roots
Patreon.
podcast.
Winston.
Before I share my... Okay, well, hold on.
Winston.
He like smick him,
Smick 'em.
my calves.
Well, all right. Back to the podcast. Back to the roots.
Okay, so we're going to...
Oh, wait. My shirt's all gross.
It's fine. Nobody can see it. This camera is not even like iPhone level.
Hey, guys. If you see my shirt, please don't comment about it. I'm really insecure about it. It's kind of gross. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so it was 2 pigs and 1 goat. This is like that. Did you ever read that story about the...
The dogs?
No, not the dogs. Not Homeward Bound. Not the movie.
No.
Not the cinematic masterpiece of like
The
1995
beautiful
or whatever.
coming of age story.
Homeward Bound is a coming of age story.
Yeah, it's about little, what's his name?
The golden retriever almost died of old age.
Shadow.
Shadow, you're right.
Shadow.
Almost died under train tracks. Man, that was...
That cat was a jerk.
Oh, Peter.
You should do a special Patreon episode where you just watch movies and make comments throughout it.
I would like that.
Of
Could
Homeward
be fun.
Bound.
Homeward Bound specifically.
It's
Welcome
like
back to
watching
day 67.
of Back to the Roots with Homeward Bound. Cheers. Peter, may I have some more?
Okay, I'm gonna hop into my weird news here.
Like I have
This is titled-
show notes now.
Hmm?
You have like show notes now.
I know. I'm trying to be a
He's-
little bit more put together.
Joe Rogan, if you want, he is available for hire.
Yes. Also,
Daddy.
I'll fight for you. Okay, this one is titled "That Rule Doesn't Apply to Me." On January 16th, Brazilian attorney Leandro Matias de Nueves delivered his mother to the Laboratoria Cura in Sao Paulo, where she was... I'm sorry that I'm not Spanish, so I can't say these. Would you like to say these,
No,
Matt?
it's okay. I just keep going. I was laughing at Winston. He's
Sure.
sniffing. He's okay. No, he's like deep sniffing Graham right now. He is double nose deep in his calf.
Okay. Leandro so brought his mother to a laboratory in Sao Paulo where she was scheduled for an MRI. Before they both entered the MRI room, the New York Post reported they were asked to remove any metal objects from their persons and signed a form detailing the protocols. but Nuevas opted to not remove or disclose his concealed weapon. When the MRI's magnetic field yanked the pistol from his waistband, it fired and struck him in the stomach. He was hospitalized for 3 weeks after the incident, but died on February 6th.
What?
This man wore a gun into an MRI room. First of all, I didn't know the magnets in MRIs were powerful enough.
Oh yeah, dude. They ask you about like if you have any metal and stuff like that. I had to get
gun.
a specific thing out of my hand
Really?
because I have metal in my hand. So they like when I had to get an MRI in high school, like they were like, we can't have you in this one. So I had to do like a special like big old box. And I was also claustrophobic, so I refused. And I told them I'd freak out. Anywho.
I just had no idea that MRIs were powerful enough to strip a gun out of like your belt.
Well, was it
wild.
fully holstered or just in his belt?
I have no idea.
Okay, because I was just if it was out of his holster, that's pretty crazy. But if it was like, if he just had it like in his belt loop,
I want to believe
like a gunslinger.
I want to believe that
Red
like
Dead
it
Redemption
flew
2?
out and like he grabbed it by the barrel and was like fighting it, and then it like
and the magnetic trigger was just like, it's time to die. Say your last prayers, conquistador.
I do want to read. When I was researching, I did find this other one I was on the fence about reading. On the fence, pun intended. I'm going to read it. This is called Size Matters. Momo the Largibbon, who lives at the Kushima Zoo and Botanical Garden somewhere in Nagasaki, Japan. There's a Momo. No, his name is Momo, and he is a Largibbon.
And he's got a Momo.
And a Largibbon, I believe, is just like a monkey.
Hey, can I clap really quick?
Yeah.
That way you can get a Winston cam.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Again, make sure to check in on the
Check
YouTube.
out the Patreon for Winston cam.
That's a live shot of Max Bulldog on the floor. Okay.
But the feet shot is definitely, I got to get my feet out of it so you guys can't.
Dude, that's going to increase the
No-
bias.
no-
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the good stuff right there.
Winnie.
You're basically selling feet pics right now, is what's
They're
happening.
clothed.
Yeah,
Some
if
people
you
are
guys want
into
them
that more.
unclothed, join our Patreon. I'm just kidding. That's the OnlyFans.
Momo the Largibbon, who lives in a zoo in Japan. He was delivered in February 2021, Momo delivered a baby in February of 2021, which surprised zookeepers since Momo lived in her own enclosure with no males around.
Since she was a man.
That would be shocking as well. But there are no males to mate. She was very protective of the offspring, United Press International reported, so it wasn't until 2 years later that the handlers were able to collect DNA from the youngster to determine who the father was. As it turned out, it was Steve Harvey.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
You're getting canceled. That's messed up.
Nothing against Steve Harvey. He was just the first one to come to mind.
That's my Steve Harvey face.
As it turned out, a 34-year-old agile gibbon, Itu, was the baby daddy. Zookeepers found that a partition between Momo's exhibit and Itu's off-display area had a perforated board with holes about 9 millimeters in diameter, and they believe the two were able to mate through one of these holes.
You're talking about a glory hole?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. A monkey.
9 millimeter?
The perforated board was replaced with a steel plate. But Momo and Itu will be introduced properly to each other so that they may live as a family.
Bro is packing heat. 9 millimeters? Bro, that's massive. Oh my gosh. Talk about a big banana. Am I right, bro? Ah! That's huge. Bro.
No,
my
it didn't
gosh.
say. It was 9 millimeters was how big the hole was.
Yeah, you got to fit through that. Oh my god.
Exactly.
Bro,
That doesn't mean. Okay.
You know, 9 millimeters, that's like this big, bro. That's huge. that is massive.
9 millimeters. That's.
Oh,
There's a gun joke in there somewhere.
Hey, if you're a redneck out there, we're drinking root beer. I don't know what I was going with that. I don't know.
I'm gonna read one more from
All right,
this
I'm going to
article.
be done with the Winston cam, so this
okay.
is your last cutaway shot, Carter. All right, editing Carter, this is your last one.
But
And editing Carter acknowledges. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys choose. I'm gonna read one more from this before we move on. I have not read any of these, so I'm gonna give you guys the option. So I'm not completely to blame when I pick an inappropriate one. Clothing optional, least competent criminal, and great art. Again, that's clothing optional, least competent criminal, and
is the
great
clothing
art.
optional Germany related?
No, it's Las Vegas.
Oh. I read one about Germany and their pool policies.
Okay, can I do a quick side tangent
You
about
may.
So for those of you who are local, there's a thing called the Croc Center, okay? And when I was in high school, I was a lifeguard for the South Bend Croc Center.
Really?
And
Oh, you told me this.
quite literally, I remember there were a couple of families, every once in a while they would come in, they had super thick, like I don't know where, but like just super thick accents. And you could never really understand them when they talked to you. But the really fun thing is what they would always do without fail, no matter how many times you told them, like, hey, please stop doing this, they would strip their entire family down and shower in front of everyone at like so there's like, you know,
Just
you gotta,
the kids.
Well, no, I'm talking like the adults too. I'm talking everybody. Like they
Everybody
would fully strip
was
down
naked.
and then walk to the locker rooms.
Oh no.
And I mean, we told them several times, like, hey, you can't do that. And they would just come back the next day and they would walk in and they would rinse off like normal, like how you're supposed to before you get in the pool. And then all of a sudden they'd get out of the pool and they just walk over and it's just like, and we would always get told like, what are we supposed to do about that? And they're like, you got to go stop them. I'm like,
You gotta go stop
what
him,
do we do?
Just
So we like walk up and I remember I walked up to him one time and I was just like, hey, can you go do that in the other locker rooms? And they were just like, what? And I was just like, never mind. And I walked away and I didn't know what else to say because I was staring at a grown woman. I was 16 years old and while she's with her kid. And I'm like,
So disgusting.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So anyways, clothing optional is my pick.
Clothing optional is yes. Okay, here we go. Trevin Wayne Hill, 21, of Las Vegas, let it all hang out on January 28th when he approached another guest in a stairwell at the Des Moines. Oh, this was in Iowa. Another guest in a stairwell at the Des Moines, Iowa downtown Marriott, KCCI-TV reported. Court documents said Hill was naked and brandishing a toilet plunger when he yelled, "I'm going to expletive get you." I'm going to freaking
Expletive.
get you.
Stinking.
While chasing the other person. Hill cruised around the hotel in his birthday suit, destroying a sprinkler system and pulling several fire alarms before finally being subdued by firefighters. Hill pleaded not guilty to assault, first-degree criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct.
That just sounds like a normal Tuesday night in Iowa.
Can you
Again,
imagine?
if I wasn't Christian?
You would do that?
Probably.
It sounds fun. Do you want to do that sometime at that hotel?
What if we are Christian? Why are we not allowed to do that as Christians? Can you show me the Bible verse?
No.
It might fall
Can we
somewhere
cut
under the
that out?
sexual immorality area, but I don't know.
Oh.
Lord have mercy.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
getting slobber on my mic when I do that. So
I seriously don't understand what goes through. Like there has to be drugs involved.
I would
in
imagine,
that kind of situation, right? Like you can't just be like sober and just be like, "This is real funny."
unless you're in
I
middle
think you
school,
can.
I could see a middle schooler
That was a
doing
21-year-old.
I'm just saying some people have middle school level like maturity. I'm not looking at you.
Let's take a real brief pause. Unpause. All right, everybody, how are we doing?
just cut something out.
Editor Carter, do your job.
Editor Carter.
We should get a
Editor Carter acknowledges.
Editor Carter shot. If you want, Carter's going to be live streaming. Carter's going to be live streaming his editing process in the next couple of months. So join his TikTok, and he'll be doing that on Patreon.
It takes a couple of months for me to get through an episode.
You
So
see whole sections
live
just like
streaming.
selected, delete, selected, delete.
It's just max track.
These episodes are normally 4 hours long.
Command all, delete.
This tastes like I'm just drinking molasses.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's brewed in Mud Lake Farm, Hudson, Michigan. I'm not opposed to it. It doesn't have the best crisp. It's not the crispiest, but for a small mom and pop shop, I'll take it.
I'm excited. I am enjoying drinking something different though. All the other root beers tend to kind of run together. So this is different.
Unique.
Hey, Winston, quit slobbing your knob. Winston, quit.
You know how dogs be sometimes.
No, he just starts licking his paws like crazy, and it just sounds like.
That was Winston.
For all the ASMR listeners, you're welcome. Join the Patreon for more ASMR videos for Mac.
Mac ASMR. Okay. I wanted to talk about, because Graham, you brought this up when we recorded the last episode, which was the opening weekend for Ant-Man Quantumania. And Mac, did you see this?
No. No.
I probably should have asked that before I let you guys know. But we're going to talk about it anyways, because I think it's pretty pertinent. Because we're going to lump in just the entire MCU in here. Because I watched one video on YouTube, and ever since I've had a bunch of videos come up where it's just like the MCU is dying, basically.
I feel like I've heard the opposite, that MCU, like because of Ant-Man Quantumania is coming back. Like that it actually wasn't that bad. But I haven't seen it yet because I refuse to watch Marvel except for on Disney Plus anymore. Because last time I bought a ticket, I wasted my money. Thor: Love and Thunder, and I walked out because it sucked.
At what point of Thor: Love and Thunder did you walk out?
Once they got the goats like fifth time, and they were like going on this rainbow bridge thing, and Thor made another stupid joke. I was like, I'm sorry, Thor's supposed to be somewhat of like a tough guy, and that he's grown a lot since Endgame. Like a lot has happened to him, and it just felt like when they completely deconstructed his character back to this like meme, I was like, okay, tight jeans, funny bit at the beginning, whatever, cool, wacky. Like I have, you guys probably can't see it, but I have like a giant Hulk from Ragnarok, and I love that movie. I absolutely love Ragnarok, but I felt like in this one it was just bad. So I watched Doctor Strange on Disney Plus, and then I'm going to watch Black Panther on Disney Plus, but I just refuse to watch them in theaters anymore.
What did you think of Doctor Strange?
It should have just been called Scarlet Witch. I mean, that's pretty much what it was.
More or less.
Doctor Strange, he's one of my favorite MCU characters, and I feel like they really just downplayed him horribly. Like his power level is on a whole nother level, and for them to kind of, I've heard people say that like, oh, he wasn't that bad. He was basically like a sidekick for the whole movie, and it just wasn't very. Like I said, Wanda, I get that the Scarlet Witch is a very powerful character, but. Ugh.
Well, I want to break down a little bit. Like, I want to do more than just kind of sit and complain about the MCU like we often do, and try to kind of break down actually why it's sucking a little bit at this point. Because I feel like generally for the most part, people who really enjoyed the first 4 phases of the MCU, 4 phases, right?
No, we're on the 4th one.
We're on the 4th
3.
one. The first 3 phases are generally disappointed with what's happening currently. I did see that like Marvel has increased their overall, like the shows, like the content they're creating has more than doubled in the span of 2 years.
Yeah, that's
between
I think that's the
shows
main issue is they're putting out too much, and I don't know. I have no clue what like has happened with like directing and story and actual thing, but a lot of it just feels disjointed. Whereas the first 3 phases felt like they were all working towards something,
Right.
and I think they're maybe getting to working towards something.
It felt like,
But I don't know.
because the first 3 was a slow burn, and then Ant-Man, like they did one show, Loki, and then Ant-Man, and it's like now we're going into like the next big bad
Right.
guy. It just felt rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard something really interesting too about how Ant-Man worked in the first couple phases because it was he was the comic relief. Like his movies were low stakes. They were not like
Really small stakes. I'm sorry. I hate Ant-Man. He's my least favorite character.
but
Really?
his
Yeah.
movies.
I love Paul Rudd, but I hate the actual like
The character.
The character's
franchise.
just lame, in my opinion. But it's a cool concept. But like, I just Winston's knobbing on your toes. I just don't care. Hey, Winston, quit. Oh my gosh, we need a Winston cam. You're getting ASMR.
I just got a nice slap.
I was gonna say his breath smells like rotten peanut butter and jelly.
God have mercy.
Yeah, I think Marvel, as a whole, the shows have gotten like they've cast too wide of a net, whereas in the past, like they like strategically tossed like a small net. Because I think Loki did really well. I don't watch the shows because it's just not what I'm interested in.
pretty
But
good.
I heard it was really good. And I hear the consensus on like the newer shows is they just don't. You can't like live off of cameos alone, Marvel. You have to have like some backbone. And Tony's dead. Let him go. Figure out how to write.
Was Tony keeping him going?
I think he was like one of the main backbones.
Well,
of,
yeah,
like, the
he was.
whole, him and Captain America. I feel like it's like a pretty clear.
And then they're both out.
Yeah, like it was Iron Man and Captain America and Thor. Those were like the big three. And then we just missed like two of those guys. And like Spider-Man's still really good. I still think
You
like
hated
Spider-Man.
which Spider-Man though? Which Spider-Man that we
most
did we
recent
have
one.
the fight about?
The most recent one.
It was the most recent one.
No Way Home, right?
No Way Home, yeah.
Is that with the Andrew Garfield and again Cameo City, which like they were cool, but like just go back and watch it without all the people there. It kind of falls flat because Andrew Garfield walks in and just kind of waits for the applause to die down. And then Tobey Maguire walks in and it's like, why are they just wandering around the city? And they don't really explain it super well. It's a good movie. I'm not going to say that, but you know, again, it just kind of goes back to Marvel living off cameos, and I think cameos are good. I think they're really cool. But like sometimes I want to go to a movie and not feel like I need to do, 50, 60 hours of watching movies to understand it. And I think that's where it used to be like really cool when you'd get that Easter egg. Now it's like, oh, nice. Another Easter egg. Thank you. This is like my 18th one this movie. Awesome.
Well, see,
Love that.
In the first like 3 phases, I wasn't. I didn't understand the Easter eggs because I didn't grow up reading the comics or anything like that. But I'd have friends who'd be like, "Oh, that's so and so. Like that's Thanos." I'm like, I don't know who that is, but okay. But then they did a good enough job building the characters, like
It didn't
from the
matter.
Easter eggs. It didn't matter,
Right.
And now it's just kind of like it just doesn't hit. And I feel like you have to know. You have to be more of a nerd. Nothing against nerds. I wish I was more of a nerd.
I
just
also
don't
feel
have
like,
time.
as somewhat of a nerd, I feel like they also suck at like actually referencing the comics. Like in my number one issue, and I could be correct me if I'm wrong, fellow neckbeards. In Doctor Strange, they like have the opportunity to basically name the universe. So the whole multiverse platform, like the main canonized comic universe, I think, is 616. That's like the main one. And they go to where like Dr. Xavier and those guys are, and I think they did like something 800, Universe 800 something. That was like the whole thing. And they said that they, in the movies, are now trying to say that they are in the comic book universe, where they could have just like taken it and been like, we're in our own universe. Like the Marvel movies, the MCU universe is in its own.
So it's not even 616. It's its own.
No,
thing.
they are in. They claimed 616.
So you're saying they could have done something.
They should have, not could have. They should have, because they have not. I don't know what comic book they're working on. Like what stories are they using? They didn't follow Infinity Saga. Death wasn't in there. Adam Warlock wasn't in there. Like there's so many different characters with Thanos, like that weren't in it. So it wasn't like a 616 true. I have the book and not out here. The actual Infinity Saga was not in here. And I, again, fellow neckbeards, I'm only a half neckbeard, so I don't know all of it, but I am trying to defend your honor. So, if you could just not crucify me in the comments, that'd be great. That'd be great. Is that sacrilegious to say?
No, I don't think so.
Is that blasphemous? Okay, because I thought it was just like a torture method, so I'm just gonna. Anyway, Easter's
think
coming up.
I am.
I'm sorry. Cut that out if you want. Actually, you can keep it in. I don't care. You just got to remember the cross, everybody.
Okay. I will say,
Was that Winston's chicken wing? Oh.
Graham, go ahead and share your thoughts on MCU in general, because it's been mostly Mac and I talking.
I know. I'm not very good at contributing, but
I want to know your thoughts about Ant-Man.
Yeah, hit us with that first.
I like Ant-Man the first one because again, like you said, it was low stakes. It was just fun. It was more of like a heist movie.
Mm-hmm.
I do wish they had gone the original direction with Ant-Man, which was having Edgar Wright direct it, who did Baby Driver and
Yeah.
Scott
I feel like he would have
Pilgrim.
done really good.
Yeah, but he got fired. But the second one is super forgettable. This
Yeah.
one I thought was great. I think it'd been a good movie on its own if it was only is it MODOK?
Yeah, the floating head.
Yeah, I wish it was just him as the bad guy, and it was just super weird as a movie, and it wasn't Kang. Even though I really liked Kang in it, I feel like it was like they're trying to set up this massive thing with an Ant-Man movie when it should have been a super weird, trippy movie, and then Kang was in it just a little bit. Like, just him crashing on the planet, and you just saw him for like 10 minutes would have been really cool. And then just have the whole movie being MODOK and Ant-Man and like drink the ooze. That would have been great.
I just feel like Doctor Strange should have had Kang in it.
That would have been a good one.
That
Like-
would have made more sense. Yeah,
Because then he like figures out how to, use what's her name's powers or something. I don't know.
Americana or whatever the frick her name is.
American Dream Team.
She
whatever.
was very forgettable. I forgot
totally forgot
when you first brought up Doctor Strange. I forgot she was even in it.
Jean Jacket girl. She's got 2 moms, and that's about all we gave to her character.
Yep.
Boop boop boop. That's
True.
That's like the only things I remember about her character, and it's because they had like briefly touched on her sad backstory where her 2 moms got kidnapped,
And she never finds her 2 moms, does she?
No, they didn't give you any relief, and it's just, hey, Wanda really wants her cringy kids that sing about ice cream. Whoa! I'm sorry, okay, everybody. WandaVision's overrated. I haven't seen it, but it sucks.
I wish
Jeez.
that they should get what I wish Doctor Strange was more of like a everything everywhere all at once type of movie.
I still haven't seen that.
I was supposed to see that yesterday, or I could have seen it yesterday,
Yeah,
but
me
I was
too.
very tired. What? He just rolled over onto my foot and barked at me because
down,
my
sir.
foot was here.
Calm down.
I saw it last night and it was like, this is what we need. It's really good.
You saw
It's
Ant-Man?
No, I saw
Everything.
everything
Oh.
everywhere. Super trippy.
I've heard
but
that's
great.
really good.
It's very good.
I've watched the CinemaSins on it.
Do you think it's gonna? Because that's nominated, right?
I know.
The Oscars are tonight.
I did my ballot earlier just because I was curious, and I think it's gonna win a lot, even though it might be a little overrated.
What do you think is gonna win Best Picture?
Everything everywhere
Really?
in an overrated type of way. I think it's gonna win.
But you haven't seen Marcella Show with shoes on.
It's not ready for Best Picture. I really want to watch that.
Oh, it's not?
Is that the
Okay.
little clam guy?
Yeah.
I really want to watch that one.
I feel like I suck at. I'm like the worst person to talk to about the Oscars. When you set that message of like,
Well, that's why I
we're
said.
gonna talk through the Oscars.
No, I
suck at
said
the
in
Oscars.
honor of the Oscars, let's talk about the worst movies we've ever
Oh,
seen.
okay, I was gonna say I am awful. I don't follow the Oscars.
I don't follow them either. That's why I said the worst movies we've ever seen.
Ever since like what is it? Somebody like brought up about how you can like pay to get your movie like viewed at the Oscars, like
What?
by sponsorships and stuff.
Mm.
I was like, oh, okay.
Not
So-
entirely surprised, but that's sad.
I'm just hoping for another Will Smith sort of situation.
I was gonna
Slap
say
some-
we should try and predict
my-
what the drama will be this year.
Well, there's just going to be
Kevin
so
Hart's
many.
gonna get
There's going to
canceled
be
again.
so many slap jokes. So many slap jokes.
I
Hey
think there's gonna
everybody,
be
I did not
something-
slap somebody's wife this year.
I think there'll be something big with Tom Cruise, either cringy or amazing.
Why Tom Cruise?
I don't know. I just feel like it's the year of Tom Cruise with Top Gun and everything. I feel like he's gonna do something really weird
He's gonna
or really
skydive.
good.
He's gonna skydive into the Oscars.
That'd be sick.
He's
But
gonna
then
do
his
his own
shoe's going to
stunt.
open too late and he's going to break his other
Yeah.
leg.
And he's just like, "Hey, I'm Tom Cruise. I got the pizzeria right here. I'm gonna slap your wife's name out your mouth. All right, brother." I don't.
Now I really want to see Tom Cruise do like an Italian.
Italian. He's gonna do an italicized conversation the entire time. Is that how you? Is that no? Italicized is when you have like the letters slanted.
Yeah, all of his words are slanted.
Not Italian. I was thinking that was. Hey, how you doing, brother? Hey, mwah, mwah. Yeah, I love you, brother. Your meatballs in my mouth. Yeah, I love them. Parmigiana Reggiano.
That's the look that I want him to make when he's. It's all in the face. It's the big frown. This guy Bagul.
I want Brendan Fraser, but as the fat whale guy.
Has he lost his weight? Where's he at now?
I thought it was all CGI.
No,
He
He gained 400 pounds?
No, it was prosthetic.
Oh, okay. I was
All of
about
it,
to
though?
say.
No, I mean he gained weight naturally, but that was just I think age.
I saw him cry. And
I
it's
hope
so
he wins.
sad.
I hope
I
he
haven't
wins
seen The
stuff.
Whale because apparently it's like,
Really sad.
well, it's like really sad and there's like some interesting bits. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't watch that. I've been trying to do a little more information on my content that I consume.
I think that's big brain.
So,
Okay, well let's touch on some of the worst movies we've seen. I was actually struggling to find stuff because if a movie, I'm very careful about what I watch, and if it doesn't rate well, I don't watch it. I will say I've been working my way through the Rocky movies again with Emily because I want to watch Creed 3 in the theaters because I've enjoyed the Creed movies, and I enjoyed the Rocky movies too the first time through, but watching them through again, the third one is just not good. It's not great. There's not a whole lot of substance to it. It does help bridge between Rocky 1 and Rocky 2, that era, into the more modern Rocky movies. And again, probably because you're like, which one is that? Which Rocky movie is that? It's the one with Mr. T. And
Mr. T, sucker!
He was in
Wait,
a
no, that's
Rocky
Booker
movie?
T.
yeah, Mr. T is the antagonist
That's
in Rocky
Booker
3.
T.
Really?
Yep.
I'm
And
just
so
going to
is
look at what did I...
Hulk Hogan is in it too.
Speaking of
Briefly,
WWE.
and like, speaking of WWE,
Did you get it?
No,
did he get? I thought you were gonna like pull your shirt up and reveal a tattoo of like maybe the giant W or something. I did start watching. Show the camera. Show the camera. No, I'm gonna put it up on the disc. That's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
So
welcome back to the WWE podcast.
I do want to
Hulk
say,
Hogan.
I do want to say that I started because I realized, because I watch the UFC all the time, and I realized that I want to watch the WWE because it's like the UFC, but it's like scripted, fake, and therefore should be more entertaining because it is made to be entertaining.
It's way more entertaining, in my opinion. I do like the UFC, but the fact of the matter is that in UFC, you're basically playing men chess or women chess. That's what you're doing. You're not playing fun, let me oil up and slap this dude with a fake chair. You're full on like trying to strategically not die. Okay. These guys are like fake dying, and it's hilarious.
But
and
here's
it's so... Some of them are so actually talented, like 50-year-old men diving off of ladders. It's not fake.
It's
real to me.
I will say they are incredible athletes, and I have all the respect in the world for them. Like watching.
me?
Did you watch Logan Paul in it?
Oh yeah, it's
I know
Royal
we're
Rumble.
late to the game talking about this.
I don't.
But
I think. Are you talking about the 2023 Royal Rumble, or I think that's the
Yeah.
one?
Was it any
He's
good?
only been in one.
Logan Paul is actually pretty good at WWE. I still don't like him as a person, but as a wrestler, he actually could. He could have a future.
He
Because you can. I feel like with the WWE people, like they're not. And I could be wrong. Again, it could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of WWE folks aren't like super YouTube oriented, so they might not be as familiar with like. Oh, are we watching the Cesaro?
We're gonna watch this clip. So this is
with
I'm gonna
Ricochet.
put this up on the screen too. Hopefully it doesn't get taken down. But this is so it's Logan Paul and this other dude
Ricochet.
Ricochet. They're across the ring from each other. Tune into YouTube to watch this. They're
Who are all
across
these
the
other
ring.
people?
So this is the Royal Rumble. Basically, 30 men enter, and you have to. The last person wins a match at WrestleMania, and in this one, spoiler alert, it's Cody freaking Rhodes. Let's go, baby! Road Town, baby! American Nightmare. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
That clipped so hard. I already know. Cut that out.
It's okay. Okay, so here we go. So they're across the ring from each other. They're on the outside of the ring. They're both holding onto the rope. They both jump up, bounce off the top rope.
Oh my
And
gosh.
they collide in the air over the middle. They collide. They collide over the middle of the.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Like this is insane athleticism. Like this is wild.
Jamie, can you play it in slow mo?
Oh my
It's just
gosh.
incredible.
Okay. Also, you have to add the commentary on during, or like you got to leave there or let them hear the actual impact.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
because it was pretty crazy. And I do think, like, again, I'm not a big fan of Logan Paul, but
Wow.
in WWE he is pretty
Well,
cool.
I feel like he's made for that because
Because he's so hateable, and in WWE
yeah.
people love to hate people. Like that is like the big thing. They're called heels, like the bad people, basically.
Yeah.
And he could be a crazy good heel, and then that could basically be his whole redemption arc if he ever shuts up on Impulsive. Like if he ever just stops talking on Impulsive, I feel like he'd make it as a WWE wrestler. Because that's the big thing is he just talks a lot,
Can you hit the thing?
Yes.
and when he talks badly about people.
Yeah, he is hateable. I wonder if Jake will ever make his way over to that platform.
I
Because
hope not.
he did finally just get beaten in boxing by Tommy Fury.
Really?
Yeah, and it wasn't that close either.
Good.
The
Is Tommy Fury an actual boxer?
he's more of a no, he's not like a professional, but he has experience, probably about as much as Jake does. But yeah, so that finally happened. So I wonder if Jake will make his way over to the WWE. Man, that's way different than what I was planning on. But I did okay. So we were I started watching the WWE is my point. Because I'm like, this has to be more entertaining. I was sick. I'm like, I'm gonna watch one of the not Royal Rumble,
WrestleMania?
one of the WrestleManias. And
Start at 25.
I was watching. I can't remember where I started.
Okay. I was going to say WrestleMania 25.
Dwayne Johnson was shout out to Dwayne Johnson again.
I love the boy.
Dwayne Johnson was hosting this one. I can't remember what it was, but
It's 37.
the thing
maybe.
that I don't know if I'm gonna keep watching the WWE, and here's why. It's so the fights are there's so much build in between the fights. Like if you're watching the recording of it, or I assume even if you're watching it live and you're not actually in the arena, there's kind of just a lull of energy. And it's just kind of like, I'm not really feeling it. And like, even with Dwayne Johnson up there, like trying to get the crowd hype, he says a line. He walks around a little bit. He says another line. And granted, I'm new to WWE and it's like all his catchphrases. So I'm not like getting everything. But then I'm like, I'm going to stick in this. So then they finally get to the fights. And again, great athleticism. But it's like they clash, like they do something, like they tackle each other. And then they like roll around on the ground for like 10 seconds, like 5 or 10 seconds. And then
they are struggling.
and then they get up and they do it again. It's not fast paced.
No. Okay, I will say some of it can be.
I imagine
the Extreme Rules matches and like
I would
the
imagine that
super crazy ladder matches. The issue now, and I think a lot of people would agree, and what I grew up on, so this is where the whole nostalgia goes. So like basically the WWF era, like the Hulk Hogan's, like again, whatever, props
What does
to
F
you
stand
guys.
for?
It was the World Wrestling Federation. They switched it back to WWE because of legal stuff. But the like that era was kind of like tame. Like it was like more just like classic suplexes and things like that, or like a clothesline, or like you get a spear, and then they kind of like upped the ante by like making it more of like a reality show and like a fun like. Here's like actual skits, and we're going to hire like people that are also actors, and we're going to try and do this. And when I was growing up, like in the early 2000s, like it was just some of the craziest things you can think of like just they would pretend to show up at somebody's house, and they would just like throw a dude through a window and then smash him with a car, or they'd literally
That's good
get
stuff.
There's a really crazy match where the Undertaker, so he's like basically this dude that's supposed to be like a grave. He kills everybody. Like he is the Undertaker. He takes you to hell, and he did this like very famous match called Buried Alive, where they just straight up would have a big old hole in the arena, and you have to go operate a crane that has like 6 tons of dirt in it and bury your opponent alive. And like obviously there's trap doors and stuff of like nobody was actually dying, but like there was just absurd stuff, and like people would like walk up and just like spray fire on people and like hit them with barbed wire baseball bats. And now WWE has a no blood rule.
Really?
They used to do this thing called blading, sorry, where basically they'd have like a small razor blade, and when somebody say you just punched me in the head like a ton,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I'd like go like this, and I just like
They would actually slit their
they would
their
slit
heads.
their own slit their own
Oh,
foreheads.
that is commitment.
And they'd get up and they'd act all dazed, and they'd have like they'd be bleeding, and they'd like, there was a lot of blood back in those days, but I think it was around probably 2010s or so. They like switched over to like no blood, and a lot of their stuff kind of got nerfed in that regard of like, it's a little more PC in terms of like, just, I would say PC in terms of parental control, not political correctness. Because they can still not be politically correct. Shout out, look up, everybody right now, go and look up Vince McMahon saying the N-word. He does say that. So if you ever think that WWE...
What year was that?
That was like 2000 and, I don't know, like early 2000s. And he just walks up to Booker T, who is a African-American male.
Oh, that's horrible.
And he's like, "What up, Mike?" And says it. And it's like, ooh. And that clip lives on. Like, it is very cringe. And there's also a whole point, like, he walked up to like a Arabic guy and just was like, "Hey, look, we have the Taliban here." And it's like, this is... I'm telling you, they've gone... they've made very good steps forward, but as far as the action is concerned, they've made some steps backwards. And so I would say check out like WrestleMania 25.
Okay.
I would say like anything from 2007 to 2015 is like peak. But that's me. I mean, I also have been watching it. The COVID ones are hilarious.
Wait, there's COVID
There's
ones?
COVID ones where there's literally no audience at all, but they still walk out and are like trying to hype up the crowd.
There's nobody there.
There's no one
Are
there.
they looking at the cameras or anything?
Yes, they're looking at the cameras. They're looking at they're also cutting
Wow.
back because they don't know what the actual camera that's on is.
Oh, it's
Wow.
just
So
looking
they're
everywhere.
just full
Oh
on
my
trying to
gosh.
hype up the crowd. It is
Once
like,
again, full commitment.
Michaela and I watched that, and it was one of the cringiest things because you can hear every ooh, ah, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is kind of bad.
I've been looking for
It's pretty funny though. Some of it is really bad. I would just honestly, this is how I've been watching WWE because I'm not like a hardcore fan. Look up YouTube, like what are the best WWE fights, and then just watch those.
I'll probably look into that.
And just be done. Because I mean, honestly, some of it can be really cringe. But for the kids,
I will say,
it's good.
As soon as you get a single like wrestling clip, reel, or TikTok on your feed, like it, watch it like 5 times. Because you'll get the clips, and those are 100% worth it. And
yeah.
you'll get non-WWE wrestling clips. Like you'll get like random like small like gyms where people are just doing it. And there's some really impressive stuff. I was sitting here looking for one and I couldn't find it. But it's just like they are incredible athletes. It is such a skill, such a talent.
Okay, side note, and this will be my last thing because we got to get back to movies because I feel bad that I hijacked this with the WWE thing. Look up, and this is not for the faint of heart. Look up Japanese Elite Wrestling scissor match.
Oh,
Japanese elite wrestler scissor.
I will describe this and only this. There is a wooden plank with 7 pairs of scissors opened and zip tied to this plank of wood. And it is used. That is all I will say.
Oh no.
It like stuck in the dude's back. It's so bad. Like
They're probably-
he full on like there was a dude like he had to go to the like ambulance afterwards.
Should we just watch it?
I mean, you will get age restricted if you put
Are you
it up.
serious? Is it
Oh,
on
100%,
YouTube? What's
yeah.
it called?
Japanese Elite Wrestling scissor match.
I don't know if I can watch it.
Get to like it's pretty much towards the end.
Scissor match.
No.
We'll see if it even
Yeah, that one.
Oh.
That's literally
Oh
the top
my
one.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm
legit.
not getting
Okay.
any. It's just a general basic warning.
Wait. Yeah, this is very long. I would.
Do you know what? I don't think
Cut
I
to the
can.
very end.
I don't think I can put this on like the actual.
No, that's fine. Can we watch it real quick?
We'll react to it.
On the Patreon, you can check this out. Okay,
Wow, this is intense looking
just
already.
watch. Yeah. No, this is like those. So those little boards have nails in them.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, dude, there is blood.
Yeah, and this dude,
no.
yeah, and that's
he's
a
all-
light. That's
he's
a
all
light pull, and now he's getting. This is it. So just stick with it. Just watch to the end.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
no.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
No. I'm telling you.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
This is an older video. This is an older video that they did.
Oh my gosh!
yeah.
Oh my gosh!
No. You gotta watch to the
What
end.
in the world?
I'm telling you. Wait.
This is on television.
No, this was not. This is on Japanese television.
Yeah, that's-
There's a difference. Okay, wait. Just wait.
No.
Just wait.
This is like
Here it goes, guys.
this is like the actual.
Oh, no.
It's stuck in his back. It is in it. Do you see it come
yeah,
out?
Yeah, this is like
They
the
watch
actual-
slow mo. Come on, Graham, you got to watch this.
Oh
Boom!
my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Wait. Just right there.
Oh
Do you
my-
see? It is
yeah, it's-
fully in his back.
It is in his back. I don't know how. Did he survive this?
Yeah, no, he lived. He keeps wrestling.
There's like that.
He's
Your
like
lung is
super-
right there.
He is
Your
super
kidney
famous.
is right
You
there.
could bleed out
He
immediately.
is super famous in Japan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, if you want to watch along,
How do you
viewer
rehearse
discretion
that?
is advised. The scissor board incident.
It's called Tokyo Deathmatch Carnival. That's what it's called. So there is a crazy subsection. I shouldn't say crazy. I mean, good work for anybody who likes that kind of stuff and wants to do it. But they're called death matches, and they'll do crazy things. It's like if you think that WWE always has this thing that says this is for professionals. Do not do this at home.
Yeah.
And you're like, who would ever do this at home? And it's like, people are doing worse things at home. That is the kind of thing where I looked it up and I was like, oh, all right, maybe I don't want blood back.
How did you find that? Was it you were going down
No,
the rabbit hole of blood in the WWE?
Yeah, I was looking up the most hardcore WWE match, and I scrolled just a little too far, and it was
As one does.
it was that was recommended. That was one of the top recommended videos. And I looked that up, and I was just I watched another deathmatch video. We won't watch that one because it wasn't as crazy. But that's not an uncommon thing for these death matches and stuff. That's pretty normal. And it's the fact, if you look, if we can, I don't know if you can go back. So no, sorry. Let's go back to the very beginning. So I'm trying to find the one dude. Just this pink guy. So if there's a tight shot,
He's
on
the
him.
guy who got it in the back, right?
No, that guy is.
Oh.
If you're watching
this
along
guy-
with us at home,
Okay, pause right here.
Skip on ahead to.
Pause.
You know what? I'm actually gonna.
Right there, so you see all of the different
Oh,
scars.
yeah, he's got scars
and you
all over
can't
his
see it
chest.
in this shot, but on the tight shot, he has scars all over his face.
Well, his face doesn't look great as it is. It looks like his nose is flat.
Yeah, no, it's and it's crazy. I want to know what they're getting paid because I feel for this level, you either have to just straight up love what you're doing and just think it's the coolest thing and it's an extreme sport kind of thing, or you're getting paid
Insane amounts.
but if you go and watch the full thing and Carter, I don't know, maybe don't leave the link, but
I'm not gonna leave the link.
the full video, you'll go around and there's maybe 100, maybe 200 people there. And it's
Oh my gosh! So there's not even.
no,
anybody-
this is a small, smaller audience. And again, this was in 2016. Maybe they are still getting paid a ton.
How much would you get paid to do this?
I don't think I could.
I
think
would not.
If I was living the most elegant life ever, I don't think I would be doing this. I'd rather be homeless. That's
Yeah.
insane.
I don't think I could do
You know-
anything like that because I'm pretty sure I would die.
It is in the Asian area. It could be a Squid Game sort of situation. Maybe they're all massively in debt and there's some corporation that's holding them in cells throughout the day and then they just do this. To
Okay, do you
pay
want to
their
take a
debt.
really dark turn?
Let's take a dark turn.
All right. Let's pause just in case you want to cut this out.
And
We're back to the roots, everybody. If you join the Patreon, you can hear the uncut version. I hope that Carter cuts
That's
that out.
the top
it was
tier version because
oh
it's
yeah, that is
dark stuff.
$4,000 a month. So back to whatever Carter was talking about. Don't watch the super scary death match on WWE. It's scary. Graham, what's your least favorite movie you've ever watched? I'm gonna take over hosting for 1 second because I took like such a dark.
We're gonna let's swing around really quick. We have to wrap up really soon.
swang.
But let's swing around real quick. And this is one of the most weird Back to the Roots episodes ever.
Oh man, and we're not even gonna have half of it in. No.
Let's each go around and just be like, what's one of the least favorite? What was like one of the worst movies you've ever seen? Graham, go ahead and start. If you have one.
My go-to one is Jupiter Ascending. But
Have you watched that one since?
No, I feel like I should though, because I feel
Yeah.
like I've said that recently. I'm like, I wonder how bad it actually is. Because then there's other movies that I've seen, like when you showed me Tropic Thunder the first time.
Yeah.
I was like,
You hated
that
it.
was horrible. And then we watched it again. And I was like, that was pretty good. So,
Yeah, it's hard to say because we watched this Jupiter Ascending movie, Channing Tatum and some other chick who's been around on the movies.
Dang it, she gets around.
I'm sorry, I'm homeschooled. I don't know words.
She's really bad. Or I mean, really good.
It's like a weird Men in Black sort of style, but way more serious sort of movie. It's just when we watched it when we were like 16, it was really horrible.
it's just really trippy. It's made by people who made The Matrix. And they basically like this alien civilization needs her eggs.
What?
Yeah. I'm surprised you still remember the plot.
It just came to me.
Interesting.
It just came to you. Somewhere locked deep in Graham's mind, it's like Jupiter Ascending. Aliens need eggs.
From a woman.
Well, she's actually one of them.
Oh, she's an alien?
Yeah.
She's
well,
like
it's kind of
a-
like a.
Like
It's
a
like a weird
female alien?
princess relation.
Yeah. Well, did
Okay.
you ever watch John Carter?
Yeah.
It's like that sort of alien situation, which I actually enjoyed John Carter.
I don't remember it, but I do remember enjoying it when I was a kid.
I love the end.
When I
The
saw it.
ending is
I'm a
it's
fan.
it's a great little twist. I'm
Yeah.
a fan of the end. Mac, bad movie you've seen.
Tusk. That is going to be my number one.
I have heard of this movie.
worst. Do you disagree?
No.
I was about to say. I was
It's
like,
my favorite.
I was gonna say. I was like, okay. I would love to hear your counter on
I
this.
saw somebody post on Facebook like, "Oh, Tusk, really strange. Love the Western vibe," and I was like, "Huh."
Western vibe.
And then I looked it
Bro,
up,
what?
and I was like, "Oh no,
No, this is not a Western. Okay, for anybody who's like not familiar with these like super weird, like it's if you for lack of a better word, it's kind of like Human Centipede-esque of basically this dude has this really weird obsession and decides to make humans into something that they are not. And in Tusk, it is a walrus.
I have heard of this movie.
So basically, the synopsis of it is there's this dude who basically falls in love.
Keep it PG, please.
Yeah, 100%.
After
It's
cutting
rated
the
R,
last
so
10
don't
minutes.
watch it unless you are ready for it. But Tusk is basically this like dude who falls in love with a walrus, and it's like his best friend or his lover. I can't remember, but like basically he like falls in love with his walrus, and the walrus like just like runs away or like dies or like I don't know, doesn't like him back. And so it's basically he finds a bunch of people and he non-consensually makes them into a walrus. And like there's this one dude specifically that he like turns into a walrus, and yeah, it's pretty messed up.
I want to be
And-
so sad after this podcast."
Like there was a dude who thought it was like the funniest thing ever that I went to college with, and I look back and I'm like,
I want pictures of these human. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
yeah, and
This is
so
horrifying.
if I can spoil a little bit in this scene, like he would force him to eat fish, like raw fish, and that's it. And it's a weird movie because there's a whole scene he rips out his tongue because he kept talking, and just it's really messed
I'm gonna
up.
have nightmares.
It's the worst movie because it's just bad. Like it's bad acting, it's bad writing, it's all of it is just bad and weird, and I'm sorry. I will say, props to them for it being like a very funny concept as far as like just how weird it is.
Funny or no?
I think that's what they were going for, but it actually ends up being kind of just messed up. Like I don't find it, like, the acting is somewhat good enough to where you're like, ooh, but then there's some lines where he's just like, the dude, I don't remember what he called the tusk, but like, or what he called the walrus, but there's like some lines where like the dude is just talking to the man walrus and he's like, oh, Bessie, I just missed you so much. And that's the funny part, but it's also kind of messed up and it's just weird. And like, I wish it didn't exist.
Is the battery still going on that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think that's my thing, is it's so bad I wish it didn't exist. Like, I wish I never saw it. Because it...
Yep.
Yeah. There's another movie that's like it called The Lobster or something like that.
I thought The Lobster was good, though. I heard really good things about The Lobster. That was
like an Oscar.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
It's
maybe it's not maybe it's not The
like
Lobster.
You get to choose your reincarnated.
Well, I thought The Lobster was
not what I was talking about.
If you don't fall in love,
you become an animal.
You become an animal.
Yeah.
Okay, basically the movie that I was talking about is there's a dude, he turns a human into a lobster. So that was what I meant. I don't know what it's actually called. Maybe it's The Claw. I don't know what it's called. I didn't see that one. So Tusk, gross. Don't watch it. It's really, if you put pictures of that, you're gonna have to like blur it.
I'm not putting pictures of that. If you want to Google it, you can. It's not like explicit, but it's not fun to look at either.
They just have like, you can tell that a lot of their budget went to like just making the little walrus human guy, and it just it's not realistic enough. But it's like, it's not realistic enough to where you're like, but then it also has that like shine of like American cheese, like Kraft singles, and you're like, and it makes these little noises. And anyways, what's your
Again, I'm very picky about the movies I watch, so I generally don't watch them unless it's like, I don't watch bad movies unless it's an explicitly like a bad movie night situation. But
you watch Tusk?
I will say we watched The Room, which is by and large accepted like the best worst movie ever. And it is truly bad. It's horrible. Bad writing, bad acting, but it is so funny to watch because of how bad it is, especially if you watch, because there is a sex scene, but the version we watched, it was censored. It's very hard to find this movie. You can't rent it.
Angel TV?
No, we watched a version on YouTube and they just blurred it. Yeah, it was bad.
Sound like a cat.
This dog, dude.
He's a Tusk.
But I can't have this conversation without talking about The Room because it's the best worst movie ever. But if you watch that one, then watch The Disaster Artist, which they made I think in 2017 with
James
Franco and another dude. And that's actually a good movie. It's about how they made The Room, and it is actually a good movie. I do want to throw out here, I don't know why this came to mind, but the G.I. Joe movies.
Those suck.
They're bad. They're bad action movies. They're
Black Widow.
No, it's worse. It's Black Widow. I didn't think Black Widow was horrible. This, at least the production value was good. Like the G.I. Joe movies, it's just bad.
I actually like Black Widow. I just think the releasing time, honestly, was the worst part about it.
The what?
The release time of it. I feel like they should have released it.
Because it was going to come out right during COVID and it got delayed a bunch. So by the time it came, it was, Okay.
Now she's dead.
Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Miss Scarlett Johansson. Wait, Michael said you had a question for me.
Huh?
He said you were going to ask me a question on the podcast.
I forgot what it was.
What was that like? Stay tuned for what was the teaser that you gave earlier?
Okay, so I was.
Hey, stay tuned. Carter's gonna think about it, and then we're gonna come back on the Patreon.
So, I was at the gym, and I swung by a grocery store in a sketchy part of town to grab some milk, and I wasn't scared because it's not like super sketchy, but I grabbed the milk, and I'm standing in the checkout line.
Oh yeah.
And I look up, and I see at-home marijuana test. And then right above it is like pregnancy test. So it's like there's two tests that you got to take. There's marijuana and there's pregnancy.
And they'll both change your life.
They will both change your life. And I looked at the price tag. It was like $1.25 and I just grabbed it, bought it with the milk, and it's sitting in my car. So
on the Patreon, Carter's going to test weed.
We don't have time. We don't have time for it. But on the next episode, we might do spin the bottle. and somebody has to take it. Now, spoiler alert, I did say urine. It's because it is similar to a pregnancy test.
You have to pee on it. To
Well, no,
take a test?
you have to
Weed?
pee into a cup, and then you have to put the test. It looks like a pregnancy test. You put the test in the cup, and then it reads your pee.
Does it
I will
give
do
you a
this
cup?
live on Patreon if you subscribe for $14,000 a month.
Anyways, we'll might bring that out.
If
in
anybody
episode
actually does it,
24,
I will.
or the next episode.
I'll pee in a cup for him.
Okay, thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back with another bottle or another can of weird molasses goo. Just kidding, root beer. Next time, make sure to subscribe, like wherever you're at, 5-star review, thumbs up.
Join Patreon.
It helps.
That was a beautiful train wreck of a conversation.